Good morning, Titans. Today is Wednesday, March 19th, and you're watching OlyTV.
Mr. Bombastic, we order some bombastic, romantic, fantastic lover. She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr. Romantic, call me fantastic. Touch me on me back, she says I'm...
The Model UN Club meets in room 264 every Wednesday after school. Attendance is now required if you plan to attend the Model UN Conference at the University of Utah.
Titan seniors, for those pursuing the CTE Completer Award, the window for applying for the CTE Completion Honor Graduation Cord opens Tuesday, March 18th. You can apply by going to the Olympus High School website, click Career Center, click CTE Courses, find CTE Completer Award application. Applications close April 18th.
If you love to sing, dance, and are born for the spotlight, go audition for next year's Advanced Musical Theater class on April 15th and 16th after school. Posters around the school have more information.
Attention Olympus seniors. The Olympus-only scholarships are officially open today at 3 p.m. Visit the counseling website to apply. The deadline to apply for these scholarships are March 28th at 3 p.m. No exceptions. See Ms. Martinez in the Counseling Center for more questions.
Congratulations to the Olympus Dance Company, who received a superior rating with a near-perfect score at the Utah State High School Dance Festival last Friday.
Have you wondered why eggs are so hard to get? Here's AJ with a report why.
At lots of store, the price for eggs has been inflated, and you could only get like 2 packages every time you go, which really sucks for a lot of people. This is influenced by the bird flu. It's a respiratory disease of birds caused by influenza A viruses, which can get to wild birds such as ducks, gulls, and shorebirds, and it can carry and spread to farm birds too, like chickens, turkeys, and ducks. Some of the symptoms are just sudden death with no signs whatsoever, reduced egg productions or soft-shelled eggs, decrease in appetite and activity, respiratory problems, which is coughing, sneezing, gasping, swelling or discoloration in the head, waddle, or legs, and neurological symptoms, which is words that I don't even know how to say. But because chickens can get it, their eggs can also get it. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommends cooking eggs for minimum temperature of 165 degrees in order to kill bacteria and viruses, including the bird flu and salmonella. People who don't do that, there have been some very rare cases of human infection from the viruses. And from January 2003 to December 12th of 2024, a total of 261 cases of human infection with the bird flu have been reported from 5 countries in the Western Pacific region. In these cases, 142 are fatal, which means 54% chance of you dying. So if you just cook your eggs normally, like just cook it all the way through, you likely won't die, which would be really good.
Thanks, AJ.
Attention all seniors, would you like a chance to make your mark at speaking at graduation? The 2025 graduation speech competition will take place in the lecture hall during late start time on Friday, April 18th. Students who are interested in competing should make a speech that is 3 minutes or less focused on the 2025 graduation theme, which is a quote from Muhammad Ali. Don't count the days, make the days count. Go to Miss Bliss's room for room 272 to sign up for a time slot and get additional information.
Attention all juniors running for SBOs in the 2025-2026 school year. Primary election results are in. Please meet in room 261 at 2:15 today to find out who will be moving on into the final election.
All current sophomores and juniors who are planning on taking concert choir next year, please see Miss Tall or email her to let her know that you want to join concert choir. If you haven't taken concert choir from Miss Tall before, you need to try out first. Your name will be put on a list of accepted concert choir students and sent to your school counselor.
Auditions for Olympus High Vocal Ensemble are coming out soon, so begin your prep now. Be ready to sing a song of your choice. Come see Mrs. Tall with any questions. Juniors and seniors are eligible to try out. So get ready, men and women. We want you and your amazing talents. Tryouts will be on Thursday and Friday, April 24th and 25th. right after school. Sign-ups will be posted outside the choir room. Come be the best part of Olympus, guys and girls.
Do you remember the Ruby Frankie case? For some recent updates, here's Gracie with more.
Ruby Frankie was a stay-at-home mom and family blogger. She was arrested in September 2023 for child abuse when her son Russell escaped from her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt's home. She and Jody both pled guilty for 6 counts of felony aggravated child abuse. Sherry, Ruby's oldest child, wrote a book about this situation called The House of My Mother. Along with this, they also came out with a documentary called The Rise and Fall of Ruby Frankie. In this documentary, Ruby's former husband, Kevin, and her 2 eldest children, Sherry and Chad, explain about what it was like growing up with her as a mother and being in the public eye.
Those behind the scenes that everyone is seeing, that kind of scares them, it's not uncommon.
Fake being happy. Okay? I don't know if I can right now.
Thanks, Gracie.
The Olympus High Drama is holding auditions for the annual One Act Festival on April 2nd from 2:30 to 5 p.m. in the Black Box Theater. You can audition to act in one of 4 plays that the advanced theater class will direct. See Mr. Taylor for more information.
Attention all Olympus Titans. Have you guys been voting for Mr. Miller for America's Favorite Teacher? Here is more information on that with Ethan.
Attention all students of Olympus. Mr. Miller has fallen to 2nd place in his group in the race to become America's favorite teacher. This is unacceptable, but you should consider the following and vote for Mr. Miller by scanning this QR code. And also a reminder that you can vote every 24 hours, so don't forget to vote every chance you can get. Tell anyone to vote for Mr. Miller. Tell your parents. Tell anyone. We must have Mr. Miller win this. And I don't know about you guys, but Miss Bill Nye, the science guy, pretty cool dude. And just a reminder that the awards aren't just from Mr. Miller himself. We get an assembly from Bill Nye, the science guy, himself. And for Mr. Miller, we can help him out by making it so he gets a free trip to Hawaii and also, I think, a $25,000 award. If that's incorrect, I'll just put something up on the screen. I don't know. And now, that's all for me. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ethan, and make sure you vote for Miller every day, as even some days count as double votes.
That's all from us at the desk. Now on to sports and entertainment with Vicente.
Thanks, Manaya. March Madness is starting up with 2 games happening tonight with the Xavier Musketeers versus the Texas Longhorns and the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers versus the American Eagles. Here's a little highlight video from last year's tournament to get you excited for the madness.
Shot clock resets to 20. Goalkey again. Yes! Watts out to Cole. Corner 3. Yeah! My goodness. With a March memory of a lifetime. Shireman, step back jumper, rebound time! Left. Kuznar puts up a 3. Wow! Timeout Oregon! And the looking, the bounce, Garcia!
Now that moment's gone when it's done.
Maybe short from deep.
Goes to your best.
Lost it, and it is over. The Houston Cougars survive.
Reach deep inside.
Discard. Smith. Lining up. It's good. Gotta make it real good. Spencer Brady did it. You stick plays great too on the break.
It's more than a contest. It's more than a race.
It is a Yukon coronation. The Huskies make history. Back-to-back national
Now let's head over to the green screen with a more extensive look at the bracket.
Thanks, Vicente. We're going to start out with the South region. So starting off, we have the number 1 overall seed, the Auburn Tigers, going up against Alabama State, who won on a buzzer beater layup last night. In the 8-9 game, we have Louisville against the Creighton Blue Jays. This is basically a home game for Louisville, so don't be surprised if they would upset Auburn in the second round. Now we have Michigan, the Big Ten champions, against UC San Diego, one of the most popular upset picks after winning the Big West. And now we have Texas A&M against Yale. Yale, if you remember last year, upset Auburn, and don't be surprised if they do it again against Texas A&M. We have Ole Miss against North Carolina, who really shouldn't have made the tournament this year. After they destroyed San Diego State last night, they now are going to play Ole Miss. We have Iowa State against Lipscomb in the 3-14 game, and Marquette against New Mexico. And for the 2 versus 15, we have Michigan State against Bryant. In my opinion, I think it's going to be Auburn against Michigan State in the Elite Eight, with my upset picks being UC San Diego making the Sweet 16. And another one would be Yale to beat Texas A&M. That's it from me. Now we're going to the West region with Lucas.
Thanks, Miles. And this is my personal favorite region of this tournament, as the coaches in this region are incredible, and we just have some really good matchups. We're going to start up here with number 1 Florida versus number 16 Norfolk State. Unfortunately, Norfolk State is going to get killed. And then we have the 8-9 matchup against UConn and Oklahoma. UConn, of course, is looking to three-peat as champions, which would be the first time since UCLA did it all the way back in like the 50s and the 60s and whatever. But they have a tough matchup against Oklahoma first. And then Memphis versus Colorado State. This is going to be a popular upset pick, as Colorado State is on a big winning streak, and they were able to secure their bid to the tournament with a Mountain West tournament win. But Memphis is also really good as they won the American Conference. Then we have Maryland versus Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon, of course, upset St. Mary's last year in the tournament, and I assume that a good amount of people are going to be picking them to upset Maryland. Missouri versus Drake. Drake is one of the most popular upset picks of this tournament. I personally have them going to the Sweet 16, as I think they're one of the most underrated teams in this tournament, and they have a manageable matchup against Missouri, but that one should be a really good game. Texas Tech versus UNC Wilmington. We're going to have to see about Texas Tech injuries, but they should be able to get past UNCW. And then this is where the coaches really get good. You have Kansas with Bill Self and Arkansas with John Calipari. What a matchup that should be in the 7-10 matchup. And then you have number 2 St. John's with Rick Pitino, who's brought them back from the dead, against number 15 Omaha. In all these games, I would have Florida, UConn, Memphis, Maryland, Drake, Texas Tech, Kansas, and St. John's. And then in the Sweet 16, Florida, Maryland, Drake, and St. John's in the Elite Eight. I would have Florida, St. John's, with Florida making it to the Final Four. Of course, Drake is going to be a popular pick, as I already mentioned, and then so is St. John's. But now we're going to head over to Colin for a breakdown of the East region.
And as we look at the East region, one thing very stands out, and that's the powerhouse of the players in this region. So we have Duke with Cooper Flagg, who is projected to be the number 1 pick, and then we also have Baylor with VJ Edgecombe, who is also supposed to be a very good player. So we should see Duke mop the floor with either the winner of American and Mount St. Mary's tonight, and then I think an upset with Baylor is something that is very likely today. And then a good game to watch is Oregon versus the winner of the Conference USA bracket, which is Liberty. I think that will be a good game. I think Oregon has the edge there. As we look towards Arizona and Akron, I think Arizona wins that pretty handedly. As we look to a home state team with BYU, I think they do lose to VCU, who just came off a hot A10 run. So I think we might see VCU win that one. Wisconsin plays Montana, and Montana is unfortunately going to run into a buzzsaw that is Wisconsin. And then we look to St. Mary's and Vanderbilt. I think St. Mary's would win this, but it'll be a good 7-10 game. But I think St. Mary's ultimately, they've proved themselves in the tournament over the last few years, other than the upset. And then we look at the 2-seed Alabama versus Robert Morris, and again, Alabama's wiped the floor, no doubt. And then my picks, so we go Duke, Baylor, Oregon, Arizona, VCU, Wisconsin, St. Mary's, Alabama, and then we go Duke, Arizona, Wisconsin, Alabama, and then I think we'll have Alabama versus Duke. And then I think we see Duke take it all and advance to the Final Four. And now we move on to the Midwest region with Jackson.
The Midwest region is probably one of the most underrated ones in this entire bracket. You see the number 1 seed Houston. They've been one of the best teams in the country the entire way. Most dominant Big 12 team we've seen in a long time. But I think this region is really underrated. You look at the 5 seed Clemson. They face off against McNeese on Thursday. That's a very popular upset pick. Will Wade is the coach of McNeese. He's already taken another head coaching job. I think McNeese is going to lose to Clemson there. High Point versus Purdue. I think High Point's going to get the job done. They're a terrific team as a mid-major. And then the game tonight between Texas and Xavier in the first 4. I would not be surprised to see Xavier win that and then beat Illinois and maybe even beat Kentucky in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Again, terrific matchups. As we get down the bracket, UCLA and Utah State, another in-state team making the field. I don't really like any Mountain West team, honestly, in the field this year. They haven't proven it ever, really, besides San Diego State's run at the Final Four a few years ago. And then Tennessee versus Wofford, where you know that the Vols should get the job done there. And then just skipping ahead to the Sweet 16, I would have Houston versus Clemson in the Sweet 16. I would have Xavier versus Tennessee eventually in the Sweet 16. And then my Elite Eight final between these in this region would be Houston and Tennessee. That would be a great game, really physical. But I think Houston's been on the doorstep for a long time. I think they get the job done in that one, and they advance to the Final Four, and I would say win the national championship. Let's send it back to Vicente.
Thanks, guys. In other news, the Utah Hockey Club unfortunately lost 1-7 against the Edmonton Oilers last night. But in better news, the Jazz is facing off against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7 p.m. In the video game world, a brand new game is gaining popularity at a ridiculous pace. More on that with Julie Joe.
A brand new co-op video game from the same studio that created the hit game It Takes Two came out on March 6th and has become an instant sensation. Split Fiction has already sold over 1 million copies within its first 2 days, but has at least twice that many players because only one person needs to own the game for 2 people to play it, supporting both local and online play. The story focuses on 2 writers journeying throughout their stories, exploring the characters' personality differences and the inspiration behind their ideas. With every level, you switch between genres and storylines, getting new gimmicks, abilities, and progressing the plot. The game has amazing graphics, intuitive controls, and good gimmicks that change with every level. The puzzles are challenging but not impossible, offering a good challenge for both experienced and rookie players. With plenty of action, storytelling, and cool moments to keep you and your friend entertained, this game will quickly become a pinnacle of the co-op gaming experience.
That's all from me. Now let's go back to the desk with Manaya.
Thanks, Vicente.
Now on to weather with Layla.
Thanks, James. Get ready to put your snow gear away soon because things are looking up. Today will be pretty sunny with a high of 45 and a low of 25. Thursday will be a high of 49 and a low of 34. On Friday, we will have a high of 52 and a low of 32, and it's looking pretty rainy. Same thing for Saturday. It's going to be pretty rainy with a high of 55 and a low of 39. On Sunday, it's going to be pretty cloudy with a high of 59 and a low of 38. And get ready to get your t-shirts ready and your tank tops ready because on Monday, it will be a high of 64 and a low of 41 and a high of 70 and a low of 44. That's all for the weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Layla.
And thank you for watching. Subscribe to OlyTV and follow our Instagram for all the updates around Olympus and beyond. Our next broadcast will be Wednesday, March 26th. Have a wonderful Wednesday, Titans.
And get some bubble bath. Only song you will hear is the beating of my heart, and we will and have some sweet pillow talk. I'm bombastic and the fantastic. Mr. Boom Boom Boom.
Give it up for the one and only Biggie G.